Oh, hello everybody, and welcome to the Clip It podcast. It's good to see you all. Yes, Corporal, we got a different channel. I have missed streaming this a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Recording was fun, I could do different stuff with that, but streaming is my it is my cup of tea, as the English would say. I have been loving doing what we're doing right now, and I'm always here to just, the one thing I want to do with this channel is constantly try and aim for a higher achievement, always break barriers and do better stuff. Now, don't worry, we will always have the podcast on YouTube and Spotify after these streams, just in case you guys miss it. We're also going to have a whole host of other websites that it goes on to, so don't worry if Spotify isn't your sort of thing, there's plenty others for you to try. So, I'm excited to do this. I'm very excited for this episode in general. We've got a good few topics, and overall we're going to do this for about 2 hours before we end it, basically. I am going to try and get this weekly again, as it is something I want to try and get on top of. And overall, we're just going to, as mentioned, break barriers and go on to the next thing. So, talking about the main subjects, I wanted to talk about who I'm talking. I wanted to say thank you very much to people who come in here like Corporal, and to the wonderful co-hosts, Asti Verd, Agent Oink, Delicious, Melody Manor. You make this massive circle turn, and I can't thank you enough. And talking about the co-hosts, we're joined here by Delicious and Agent Oink. Thank you very much, you two. And you know what? Let's go and talk to those guys. So, yes. How are you both doing today?
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
No, it's all right.
That's great. It's definitely not a distraction when you guys are talking over me and I'm trying to do a fucking intro.
Well, it's not like it's podcast tradition or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but I appreciate you going, oh, that's nice on the list.
It is. The graphics look really
I
nice.
like what has happened this week in the title, as if we don't have a month to catch up on of content.
Oh, literally, we've had so much happening. I'm something I want to try and add to these podcasts is a little trailer of what happened in the last week. I had an idea for this week and I got every clip done, but unfortunately work got in the way and I couldn't get it completed. But it was going to summarize basically what's happened that I wanted to talk about. So basically,
Do you want me to nitpick now or later?
Nitpick now, why not?
Okay, I think when you speak, I can see the top of your bubble under my name.
Really?
Just like the top little.
wow.
Oh yeah,
literally
the
a few
tiniest
pixels.
amount. Yeah, god damn you. But
I will find every fault.
yeah, so
This does look nice. Woo,
well,
look at
thank
it.
you. I'm very happy with this, and it's nice. I appreciate it. The reason, so not everybody knows this, obviously. The reason I've gone to my own to a separate channel for this, and the reason I went to recording for a little bit, is I want to separate it from my channel. I know these two are not going to agree with me per se on this, but personally, I don't see this as mine. I see it as ours. It's not my podcast; it's our podcast. So that's why I wanted to put it on its own channel.
I wish I had the USSR anthem on a soundboard right now.
What do you have on your soundboard at the moment?
I got to think about what I can play.
Oh god.
I can play this.
Perfect.
That's about it.
That is
That works.
perfect. I just want to point out, by the way.
Oh god.
Interesting. Right. That doesn't make any sense to me. I saw on the Twitch. Yeah, Twitch quality says 1080p 60, doesn't it? For me, it does.
It does indeed.
I'm streaming at 30.
Oh,
No,
cool.
actually, I've just checked. It was
Twitch
1080p
is in
60 a
trouble.
second ago. I refreshed because it annoyed me that it didn't have a mod icon in chat. And it now says 720p 60, which is even more confusing. It's the wrong res
yeah.
and the wrong frame rate.
Right. Okay. I don't
I'm not
understand this.
refreshing.
Perfect. That is perfect.
Welcome, Corporal. I knew this would go well.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Corporal. It's wonderful having you here. So yeah, I wanted to have a little trailer to describe or to explain what happened this week and some of the subjects we'll talk about. This week, unfortunately, I couldn't do it, but to summarize, I wanted to not talk too much about politics, but mention, Trump throwing all his toys out the fucking pram and being a crybaby. Boris Johnson just being Boris Johnson. The new consoles finally came out.
Those are
not
political.
Yeah, no, yeah, finally. I don't want to mention political, but yeah. So those were just what happened. Okay.
I love you.
The new consoles finally came out. We've had some
They did.
fun stuff about that.
Honestly, I am very surprised by how that launch went because it was obviously something that was hyped for a long time leading up to it. And I spent a long time trying to decide if I thought I would actually care about the console launch. Like, how would I react when I actually saw them come out and people like showed their performance? And I've realized after they've launched, I care so little I still haven't seen a single second of gameplay from either console.
So that's actually
I like they just seem so boring. Honestly,
I am the exact same. I thought I would look and check and all that. I haven't seen a single second, not even a streamer like watching or seeing any gameplay at all. Not because I don't care, just because it seemed to have got hyped up a shit ton and then it just happened. And that's it. Like, nothing's really come out of it. Minor things.
other than the vape tweet.
Yeah, that was quite funny. Apart from that, and people buying PlayStations and throwing them on the floor because why? Yeah, it hasn't really been that exciting as such. I personally, like, the only thing I've just seen that is really just I'm interested in is the new DualShock 5. Yes, DualShock 5.
Yeah.
Because that seems like an actual interesting thing the new consoles have done compared to Xbox at least. So that's something exciting. Obviously, in other news, Call of Duty came out. We've got Cyberpunk coming out in next week, is it, or the week after? Week after. Isn't it the 10th?
I didn't know. I thought it'd been.
I have no idea. It's changed 14 times.
Yeah.
for some reason
Cyberpunk 10th,
10th
yeah,
of
10th.
December.
So 2 weeks from now.
Gosh.
That's very exciting.
How exciting.
So yeah, that's like we've had quite a lot of stuff, and I've definitely been part of that when it comes to the COD part. My God, my Twitter feeds. And what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? That was it. The main topic I really wanted to talk about, obviously we can go anywhere with this today, would have been with Twitch and their whole, I don't know if you'll call it controversy, but the whole thing with the affiliation and then partnering with Monster Cat. I've heard a lot of mixed opinions on it, both good and bad. And to be fairly honest, I do see the points on both sides. They do make sense. But that's something I wanted to talk about because it is an interesting sort of topic. Especially coming from someone who is an average Twitch user, and the fact that the only other platform I think that was okay for streaming on has died recently. Twitch seems like the only other good option, or at least the best living one, the best standard at the moment.
I'd say Twitch pretty much is the only option.
It is, yeah.
Country.
Yeah, it is.
There are big streaming sites in other countries like Korea, China, but here it's like you can stream to YouTube and have the niceness of having zero discoverability. No one can find you for your username, what game you're playing, your title. It's basically useless. The only way streaming on YouTube works is if you already have an audience. If you have a successful YouTube channel, you can stream with no issues. But if you don't, fuck you, basically.
That's a good way of looking at it.
It's depressing. I wish it wasn't the only option. Competition's always a good thing.
Oh, definitely.
But, we're just sort of stuck with Twitch being Twitch.
It is. It's just annoying. And so I don't know if you want to go into it now. The whole the whole version, the whole thing was happening with Twitch, as it is kind of like, in my opinion, it's just died out right now. At least nothing new's come up about it. I haven't seen many people put their opinions out. To be honest, I haven't seen many people put their opinions out at all on it. Literally, people just saying, some people saying this is shit, but those are the ones who are affected by it. Or like, so my best example for this would be a streamer I watch. He's called Peanut. He just hit affiliation after 7 years of streaming. And the week of him hitting affiliation the official way, Twitch comes out of this partnership, and he feels really shit about it because obviously he's been doing it for a long time, not full on, but on and off.
Probably should clarify what the partnership is.
Okay, so it's more, and I do understand why, or at least personally, I see why Twitch have done this. I don't know if this is true or not.
I see why they've done it. Yeah.
But yeah, I see why they've done it, and the partnership would have been. The partnership is Twitch have partnered with Monster Cat, who are I would have said they're an indie music publisher, aren't they?
Label, yeah.
Yeah, label. Yeah, I thought so.
I wasn't sure if they were indie. They probably.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought they were bigger than.
They are relatively
they
big for indie, to be
started-
completely honest. So.
Started like very, very much in the definition of indie, but they've grown quite successfully since their founding. They're a very popular label, especially on YouTube and like games and streaming and like that sort of fan base.
Right.
So they definitely have indie roots, although I would say that they've grown to like large indie by size now.
Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, no, they are relatively large for what is called an indie label. But so Twitch have partnered with them. From my point of view, I can understand why they have done this. They want people who are affiliate, people who are earning money on their platform, to use music that they have, because they've had loads of issues with DMCA strikes and music labels getting annoyed with streamers using their music. We all know this, and it's been going on for God knows how long. But so what they want to try, I think, in my opinion, they're trying to get streamers, mostly affiliates, because that's where the biggest issues I think are coming from. Because when you're a partner, you are paid a lot of money in most cases, or at least a lot more money than the average streamer by Twitch, and you're going to get stuff like sponsorships and like other partners or what do you call them? Like connections, basically, to other companies.
If you're a large partner, it's very likely you'd be able to negotiate a deal with a record label to be able to use their songs. Not necessarily yourself, but you'll have a partner manager. You might even have a brand manager for your entire brand.
Gosh.
And you'll likely be able to go through that.
Yeah.
Affiliates don't have that option.
And so
Unless
obviously,
you're very rich and an affiliate, in which case, fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously they're going to have issues like, a lot of affiliates are going to be using copyrighted music, and that's where the issue comes in, because
welcome to
you could take down 10 people who are affiliated using your music. Not going to make too much of a difference, in my opinion, because there's thousands, maybe hundreds of tens of thousands, more doing that. And obviously they're still getting Twitch income. These labels are not liking that, because you're basically using their music for free, illegally. And that's one of the things that annoys me, because I see big streamers who are partners getting annoyed at Twitch because they're like, I come to this platform to play copyrighted music. Mate, what? Like, the copyright laws aren't modernized in any way, shape, and form.
I mean,
that is fact.
It's one of those things. I disagree with how copyright law is implemented currently.
Yeah.
For many things. I want to be clear, this isn't just about music on Twitch. I think the way it applies to online video, physical media, and its relative distribution online, if you own physical copies, like, I think the whole thing is just a mess that was written a long time ago, before the internet existed as it does today, that needs updating. Yeah. Nevertheless, you're an idiot if you come to Twitch to stream copyrighted music specifically. Like, what the fuck?
No, most definitely.
Like, why? Like, there's plenty of good non-copyright music, for one, but like, it's just such a weird, specific desire to have, in my opinion, anyway. There's plenty of copyrighted music that I have streamed, in the past.
You bastard! And for that, you should be.
I am yet to be striked for, and that's probably because I don't tend to listen to what I'd call like big artists that have very, very large record labels, or fucking what's the word? Copyright manager company things, like UMG or whatever. I tend to listen to smaller artists that are technically copyrighted. Their music isn't in Creative Commons or public domain or anything like that, but I've streamed it, times, and quite frankly, regardless of where the law stands, my opinion on that fact is that I have purchased that music with my money I've owned the album. I have a right to play it like where I want. I can play it if Phelan was at my house. I don't expect to have to pay royalty fees to do that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not making money off my stream anyway, so the problem, frankly, if they're concerned about people making money off their music, is Twitch.
And Twitch haven't really gone around this the best way. From what I've heard, at least. I've heard they've had issues in the past.
Right.
And they could have sorted this whole music issue out, but kind of just went the lazy route and went, we could do it later, sort of thing. And now look where they are.
Lazy route. That's a slight misunderstanding.
Okay.
So the main issue Twitch has been having is with the
The
RIAA. I think.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Recording Industry Association of America.
Okay.
So that's a trade body that represents the recording industry in the US. So it's a body that represents record labels, distribution companies, that sort of thing. And they basically had a bit of a spew of claims under DMCA recently. They spammed the ever-living shit out of Twitch for a week, sort of slowed it down for a bit, did it again for a week, then sort of slowed it down for a bit, and that's kind of where we're at, which caused the initial chaos of everything going on Twitch with the whole copyrighted stuff. They also filed a Section 18, I believe. I'm not an expert on US copyright law. Watch Tom Scott's video on it, or Legal probably has a video on it. But anyway, great YouTubers, by the way, both of them. But I believe basically the law says, there's a section of DMCA that says any tool or software or system that can be used to circumvent copyright protection measures is in itself illegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to, they sued GitHub, or not sued, they sent a letter to GitHub and said, take down YouTube Download, a package that is used very, very commonly across all things for downloading YouTube videos. It's used for archival purposes, it's used for storing videos so they can be remixed and edited and re-uploaded in a different language with commentary or whatever. Well, there's plenty of valid uses for it. GitHub initially took it down, got legal advice, and was like, wait, there's no copyright protection measures on YouTube. YouTube doesn't do anything to stop you downloading its videos, so that's not a protection measure, so it's not illegal. And they just put it back up after realizing that it was just a scare tactic. There was no actual legal grounds there. And so they sort of have had a bit of a thing. But YouTube DL was nice enough to take out one section that the RA specifically mentioned they had a problem with in their letter, which is that YouTube DL has a test you can run, right? And it'll just download some videos for you in different formats to like check it's all working properly in your configuration. And that included copyrighted music videos, just because they decided to put them in there because they were popular videos, right?
Okay, yeah.
So they removed those, replaced them with just standard Creative Commons videos on YouTube, and so far it's fine. Not that there was any legal basis in the first place, technically, anyway. But so the IRA has had a lot of problems, and Twitch. We know that we don't know the full details on it because obviously they haven't come public. But we know that Twitch was in talks with them for probably around 2 years, and they were looking to negotiate some sort of deal that would allow the streaming of a mass number of copyrighted musics on Twitch. It wouldn't necessarily be every song; it would probably be specific to certain record labels and such. But where those talks went, we don't know. Were they looking for like a revenue cut from streamers? Was it going to be an option you could turn on as an affiliate or partner that would reduce the cut you got but allow you to stream copyright music? How was it going to work? We don't know. What we do know is that the talks fell apart, and within about a week, the RRA sent out the first DMCA wave. So basically, Twitch was accused by some people of being, of basically failing the community in those talks. If the RRA dropped out, Twitch had to have done something wrong, and they didn't compromise where it was necessary for the benefit of the community. But obviously, without knowing what actually happened in the talks, for all we know, Twitch could have been like, yeah, we'll give you £1 billion a month, and the RRA just went, no. So, I do suspect that Twitch probably didn't do its best job in that situation, but I also respect that Twitch is one of those companies that's owned by literally one of the most rich persons on the planet, one of the richest companies on the planet, but also is run by like a very relatively small team and is normally kind of shit at hiring people. So I can see how it would fall apart on their part as well. It's hard to know about knowing, but I know that the important thing is that they were in talks. The talks fell apart. That's when the DMCA's hit.
Right. Okay,
that's why there weren't DMCA's for a long time. There was basically an agreed truce.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's unfortunate because it could have been a lot not simple. It could have just been solved somewhat, but it just didn't go much.
I mean, I would definitely argue that I think streaming copyrighted music is of benefit to record labels.
Yeah, it's the same with this whole thing with which happened not too long ago with games. That developer who got annoyed because people can. He wanted it to what was it? He wanted so people could. They would have to pay a license to play games or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, the Stadia guy that wasn't a Stadia guy that was actually just a completely random dude. Well, he wasn't at all, but yeah. How does it make sense? Like the way I think of it, right, is you walk into a shop, right, and there's music playing through the shop speakers.
What sort of shop though?
I don't know, a sex shop.
Okay.
And there's music playing through the shop speakers. I think you'd probably both agree that 9 times out of 10, probably 99 times out of 100, you're gonna just not care. You don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? But 1 time out of 100, you might sort of go, I like that song. And it might be a song you know, and you might think, actually, I kind of really do like that song, and you might play it a couple times later when you're at home, or if you've got your headphones on, your earphones or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it might just be like, oh, that song was catchy, and you Google some lyrics or whatever, or use one of those apps that can just recognize the songs and try to find out what it is. And then you might buy the song, or stream it, because people don't buy albums as much anymore. Which is an important note. People don't buy albums. Albums don't get bought. People use Spotify. Subscription has been the way music has worked for a very, very good few years now. Buying albums is a thing of the past. It is something that I do a lot because I buy a lot of indie music from Bandcamp. But in general, people do not buy albums. They don't buy singles. Nothing. It's no one buys music anymore. They only stream it.
No. Yeah. True.
So like, if you walk in a shop that one time, you pick up a song, you listen to it, right?
Yeah.
That streaming, that shop, the company that owns that premises, whether it's an independent thing that owns one store or a massive chain that owns 400, have to have a license to broadcast that music.
Yep.
Right? And that means that they've said to this record label, we will pay you this much to broadcast your songs. The record label's got on it. Okay, they broadcast the songs, and then in the end, the record label ends up making money from it through extension anyway. Right? Which is why the record label allows it, because they understand that obviously that works. So I don't see why the same couldn't happen for Twitch, right? Think about looking at a company like I'm not going to go something as big as Walmart, but like a smaller company, like a small supermarket chain that's say like native to one state. I don't know America well enough, but let's just say Illinois stores, right? Only found in Indiana. Don't ask.
Right. No, that sounds American.
Yeah, exactly. Like you've got this store. It it's not the most popular. Most people go to Walmart or Target, right? But it's got a relatively large, still statewide following of people that visit. It's 200 stores or whatever, right? If you say to a record label, this is how many people go through our stores in a week, right? How much do we need to pay you for a license? It's going to be in the few hundreds, right? Like per week, probably.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that's pretty decent. But if you said to that thing as like Walmart, how much do I need to pay per week to play songs? I mean, like, I'm pretty sure some record labels really want Walmart to be playing their fucking music, because I think Walmart probably gets a bit more traffic going through its stores than Illinois stores or whatever I called it, right?
Definitely.
Like millions more. So if you're Twitch, think about how many people view streams on Twitch. And I mean like in total, not like how many people are watching Tom Syndicate, that guy that cheated some people that were 14 years old on CSGO gambling websites and still has a career for some reason. Not, fucking Shroud or whatever, right? Not like the individual views. The combined viewership of Twitch is a lot of people. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'm not speaking about affiliates and partners, not just partners, everyone. I'm pretty sure if the IRA were actually thinking smartly, it would make financial sense for them to allow the broadcast of copyright music on Twitch. Just flat. And have Twitch pay, just Twitch, not individual streamers, but Twitch pay a licensing fee. Because, like, the impressions you get would be insane. It would be equivalent to, like, a massive multinational chain. It is worldwide. There's tax benefits in that you're getting to impress people from all across the world when you don't technically have to pay taxes in those countries. Like, it just seems beneficial to me. Like, if 1 in 100 people will check out a song how often do you think people are going to check out songs because they were watching fucking XQC cheat in a Fall Guys tournament, and he happened to have a Rihanna song on in the background, or like a Rihanna album, right? And they were watching it for 8 hours straight, and that Rihanna song's now stuck in their head, so they're going to stream that Rihanna song for the next 2 months and earn a bunch of money for the record label, because that's how streaming works. It clearly seems to me that the logical decision is to just allow streaming on Twitch and have Twitch pay a license fee, and the license fee wouldn't be out of Twitch's budget, because one, Twitch is Amazon, and two, it just would actually be pretty reasonable, because the amount of impressions they're going to get is insane.
No,
That's
yeah,
my TED talk.
That sounds.
it is true, and it's such an annoying state, but just like nobody really just. I don't know. I doubt someone goes on a stream. Oh no, nobody ever goes on a stream and goes, you know what, this is copyright music. I'm going to report him, unless you have something against a certain streamer, and that's where it gets you, because as soon as you get some traction on it, then these labels will find out, and then they're like, you know what, that's a point, and then that's where like it snowballs so quickly, especially if you're someone like XQC or Shroud, that it's just such an annoyance. So yeah, it's I can understand why they want to do this Monster Cat partnership, because you're giving streamers, or at least you're looking at it from Twitch's point of view. You're hoping, oh, okay, they're paying for this premium subscription system. You get a bunch of music that, you know, we're getting a bunch of music from a label we're partnered with, so you shouldn't get DMC striked for it, because, you know, we paid a lot of money to do this. But then you're hoping those streamers are then going to use that music. You know, I don't know if, and also this is something I haven't looked into, and I don't know if anybody knows. So if you do correct me on this. When you buy the subscription, it's what, $5 a month, and it fast tracks you to affiliation. Do you get affiliation from that point onwards, or do you have to consistently have that subscription?
I have absolutely zero idea.
Because
I presume consistently have that subscription at that.
yeah, but yeah. So I've never, you know, I'm gonna look into this quickly, because I've never actually
The problem with the logic behind that, though, is that surely you should just let everyone be an affiliate then, and say that the first subscriber an affiliate gets, they get 0% of the revenue from it, just goes to Twitch.
Yeah.
And then bam, you have exactly the same system, minus Monster Cat.
Honestly, it is a weird thing. Like why they're doing it. Sorry, no, I can understand why they're doing it. It's just such a weird place to come. Like, I don't know if it's just sheer coincidence because of this whole DMCA strike, or it is. Oh wait, the office ended.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing. So I was actually so. Well, I was thinking when this podcast comes out, one of the first things I was going to say is either this is going to backtrack because people are not going to, you know, it's going to have so much shit on it, or and Twitch is just going to stop it, or people are just not going to really listen and just do it to get affiliate but not use the music. Because the pro side of having, because there are a lot of pros to have an affiliate, not just the income, but the fact that you get stuff like channel points.
It's the features more.
Yeah, you get channel points. You actually get embed. I'm sorry, you get streaming. What's the video? Where you can have it at different resolutions. I can't remember the word. Yeah. And what's the other things like emotes and subscriptions, badges and all that? But that's all paid stuff. Channel points. What's the other thing? I really can't remember now, and I've been a Twitch affiliate for a year now.
I can't. Oh, okay. Wow, way to flex. Way to drop that in there.
Yeah, but I didn't pay for mine.
You could do. You should do with this channel. Get double that sub.
Well, I can't anymore. The office ended.
Well, go back in time, do
So actually, if they said why it's ended,
it.
You get bit subscriptions.
One of two reasons.
Game sales, if you're on playing one of the supported games that will show the buy the currently played game below your thing, you still get the cut of that.
Not anymore.
And then
That's a partner thing.
it's on the affiliate.twitch.tv.
I
while I'm
can't.
reading
You
this
can't.
from.
As far as I'm aware, it's a partner thing.
Affiliates earn a 5% revenue share of the purchases that originate from their channel pages.
Damn.
But yeah. Other than that, that's pretty much it. You get the extended VOD storage. I think normal users only get 7 days. Affiliates get 14.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Gosh, what a useful upgrade.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it partners get 60 days?
Partners get 60. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, partners get, because something that disappointed me, and I didn't realize until quite later on actually, is the max amount of emotes you can get as an affiliate is 6. Well, partners is what, 150? So bit of a difference.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You get, as a partner, you get 50 emote slots
Oof.
in
How many
total.
tactical
Oh,
pods we
okay.
have, or tactic pods?
But then you get the extra emote slots for tier 2 and tier 3, and then I think you can get bonus emote slots for other things as well. Plus, note that partnership is commonly a negotiated deal between a partner and and Twitch. If you are a big partner, if you've just become a partner, well, like just breaking into the guidelines as an affiliate, probably not. But if you're, XQC, he definitely has a relationship with Twitch. Is probably definitely getting a deal to a partner that has an average viewership of 300, right? Like, that's just how it works. It is a business. I always remember a lot of people forgetting that Twitch used to, doesn't so much anymore, especially not during a pandemic, treat partners to free tickets in plane and hotel at TwitchCon events that were near them, and to PAX in America and shit like that. Which obviously is, it kind of put the whole point is like, you're earning us a lot of money, we'll start to treat you a bit cushy now.
Yeah. I don't know at the moment. It seems like there's a lot of partners being accepted, so I don't know if it's still a like a person-to-person deal, but
it doesn't have to be. It just can be.
Yeah.
As the default partner agreement, where you just get accepted into the partner program, where you just get all the standard benefits, all the standard revenue share. But if you are someone like XQC, you could probably justify negotiating a 5 to 10% increase in your revenue cut from subscriptions, because you have 10,000 more subscriptions than most people in the top 10, and
if you're earning
thousands more than every partner in the average,
No offense, but if you're earning that many, I really wouldn't give two shits about getting a tiny bit more out of Twitch.
I mean, I don't think I would be too worried.
No,
but
at 10,000 subs, that's like £2 a month. But something I remember.
My favorite thing is streamers gift subbing to themselves.
Oh yeah, that is a big thing. It's like, well, if we hit 5,000 subs, I'm gonna gift sub 500 of them to you guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I
nice.
get it. It's just kind of funny that it's just I always think of it as money laundering. It's not, to be clear. I don't think there's many people on Twitch doing it like that. It would be quite inefficient. And do you really want to money launder in a way that a third of your money laundering goes towards a moat that you're never going to use?
Also, do you want to money launder in front of thousands of people?
I've seen some
That's
things.
the proper way to do it.
Yeah, that's the proper. Something I do find
CCTV and secrets. That's old.
Seriously, someone's asking if there's multiplayer in Cyberpunk. So you talking about
at this point?
Yeah, you talking about them talking to Twitch, getting exclusive deals out of them and all that. That reminds me, someone who's on Twitch, a group of people, they were talking about how when you're a partner, you have a partner manager. Or at least I assume when you're at the top of the top. I don't know if it's just everybody gets a partner manager. When you become a Twitch partner,
I believe everyone is assigned a partner manager. But if you're a generic small streamer, you're just given a partner manager that will manage probably hundreds of people.
Yeah, obviously.
If you're XQC, you probably have a personal partner manager.
But that's what I remember hearing is someone said they'd never, like, this is someone who has millions of views on videos. He's never spoken to his partner manager once, and he's been partnered for a year. It's one of those things where you probably, unless you're like into the craft of streaming, or like you're trying to actually, do stuff for the channel, you're probably going to talk to them. You want to see if you can get any exclusive deals with sponsors, etc. But if you don't care, they're just there, sort of thing.
Yeah. A lot of people just don't care.
It's fair as well. Like, they're there to answer questions. Fun fact: anything for views was going to be a partner manager. Glad he didn't go that route. So.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting field to see him excelling.
It would. God, imagine. It's good to see where his podcast is going, and he's actually getting some decent guests on there. I'm just not a big fan of him. And it's more of his character I don't like.
Understandable.
What?
That's understandable.
Yeah, like, it's just a bit too out of the park for me. Honestly.
Not a big fan of a lot of popular people. Not a big fan
actually,
of XQC's character.
Yeah, no, so you
he's
walked...
popular, just not for me,
You just dropped the name and I'm going to pick it right back up. XQC. So...
We're about to go on a very personal rant about him.
No, it's not. It's just, why would you cheat blatantly in a tournament?
Just an idiot, isn't he?
Honestly, why? Like,
man, can you imagine if this only came up like years later, though? The different questions that would be being asked, like, how the hell did this happen?
Oh, so Alfie here is the one who told me, because I saw posts and I saw articles talking about how he was banned for stream sniping.
Yeah, him and his teammate stream sniped. He also cheated.
Yeah. And I wasn't aware about that cheating one. That's the thing that gets me. It's the fact that he cheated, and is it? Do correct my quote. Isn't it? Quote. It was funnier for the fans.
Yeah, he said it was funny for the fans. The full quote was something along the lines of, "I did it because it was funny for the fans, but on reflection, I realised it was a stupid decision that I shouldn't have made."
Isn't that like XQC's channel in a nutshell?
I mean, yeah, you're
like,
not wrong.
You remember that thing? You remember that time he got banned because he showed inappropriate images from a game, even though wasn't there warnings towards it? Yeah. But he just carried on doing it.
Yeah.
And then it just happened, and then he was like, "Oh God!" And then, like, honestly, it just like, so. I don't know if he's going the route of Logan Paul of any what's the word? Any journalism is good journalism, sort of thing. Like, you could be
close enough.
Yeah, I can't feel like I'm missing the word, and it's annoying me. But like,
any media publications that may or may not reflect on you is not bad for your character.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Especially for like, didn't Logan Paul get a stupid amount of subs because of what that event that he did?
Yeah.
And everybody in it was a household name because of it, because he was in huge news, or like he was in stuff like that. Like my parents knew about it because he was in the fucking Sun newspaper. So, and he got a stupid amount out of it. So, it's XQC's going that same route, it seems.
XQC's always been like that.
True. Honestly, though, it just... I want to know where people are getting... So this is kind of straying off, but I don't know why XQC reminded me of this. Why are people believing that you can float a ping pong ball on top of the Xbox?
Because it's a vent.
I mean, yeah, I'm
sure
as hell never tried, but I suppose I'd be willing to believe they could kick out enough air.
Nah,
depending on
what you want,
the right circumstance.
What you want is a fan that can chuck your PC across the desk. That's the sort of. That's the sort of.
Those computer cases that are on wheels.
Oh, what, the new Mac?
Well, I mean that's one of them, yeah.
Like this.
That's more than that.
this, lads, this is what I'm on
Ooh.
about. Everybody needs to know that this is the sort of fan stuff you want for a PC. If it can go across your desk, that's a good fan. So, that's all I'm gonna say. But so yeah, then they had you mentioned earlier the vaping, which I genuinely believed for a little bit because I was like, it makes sense. It's a tiny little box. It could overheat, and potentially catch fire. Wasn't true.
Gosh, so you're gonna have a go at me for believing that a ping pong ball could be affected by some air currents.
Yeah, but come on.
Do you think a new system's gonna burst into flame? All right, hang on, let's give me some
okay,
credit here.
yeah, but there's context between because there's been phones that have blown up, so technology can catch fire. That's all I'm gonna say.
Generally not that sort of
Technology
smoke,
can
but yeah,
catch fire. A very innovative statement there.
Yes.
You're truly the genius among us.
The PlayStation hasn't caught fire yet, so
I wouldn't put it past it
No,
though.
I heard rumors of it. To be fair, I've heard rumors of both consoles overheating, but the problem is I don't know
What's a
how those
console?
people.
Yeah.
I don't know how those people
course
have
it's
been
overheating.
placing their consoles as well, because it literally could just be them covering the vents or something stupid.
oh
Like
really?
whether they mean
Like,
to or not.
Yeah,
rather than the
I
design
definitely
for it.
feel like consoles don't do enough to stress the importance of positioning and care for the ventilation and cooling system.
Mm.
Because even like the thing with a PC, if you have a good PC case, because there are some terrible PC cases out there,
Yeah.
if you have a good PC case that's well ventilated, good fan positions, and such shit, your PC can be caked in dust. I mean, like you've got like a solid centimeter of dust on every grill, and you will
Ugh.
still be unlikely to overheat if you have a
Yes.
good setup.
You
Right.
know,
When my PC gets caked in dust, I normally peak at 76 degrees on my CPU.
so
Right?
I
Like,
just
it's
want to.
fine.
I just want
With a
to
console,
fight.
expected to die.
I want to fight this with a counter argument. You don't have to be an idiot to make mistakes. I wasn't aware my GPU fan curve
Oh my god.
wasn't at all set.
Oh yeah.
And so I wasn't aware my GPU was getting
fan
to,
curve was 0% until 70 degrees. Yeah, I remember that.
it wasn't even set because it would get to 100 degrees but still climb. And I thought that was normal.
What the?
Yeah,
Oh.
when he got his GPU, he played some Battlefield or COD even, sorry, to test it. And he peaked his GPU at 100 degrees C, and he came off and was like, "That seems a bit hot. Oh, maybe it's fine." And he told me about it the day after. I was like,
Oh
"What the
my
fuck is your fan
God.
curve set to?" My
Charlie's
GPU
using his
doesn't normally pass
GPU to
60.
make tea.
Yeah. I never noticed because I didn't hear the fans getting
I'm
loud.
gonna be bloody lovely. If you had like some food left, you had some
I
chips
suppose,
left over.
yeah, you wouldn't have noticed that.
That was the biggest problem. I couldn't hear the fans. So I was like, oh, it's not getting hot.
God.
So, yeah. You don't have to be an idiot to make mistakes.
It sure
Well,
helps.
yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, I know. But I mentioned it earlier talking about new consoles. The new PlayStation 5 controller is looking really interesting,
I
in
like
my
the
opinion.
controller.
I
still prefer an Xbox controller.
Yeah, so
an
the
Xbox Elite
setup-
controller specifically for not using on a console and using on a PC for games that benefit from controller.
So,
Other than that,
yes, the
the
layout
new PS5 one looks better than the
There's my
PS4,
controller.
PS3, PS2, PS1.
it's much bigger, which is nice. I'm surprised adaptive triggers have taken this long, in my opinion. Or at least
Yeah.
as effectively as they've done it.
I have the vibrations.
Obviously, I've not used them, but I just can't see it being much of a like. Yeah, it'll be one of those things to me, or at least having not used it, like ray tracing, where it'll be nice to have, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get it. That being said, ray tracing is a bit more complicated because it's available on lots of systems compared to the console triggers, the PlayStation triggers rather, which are
Yeah,
just
the
one
main
thing.
things I've seen about the controller is that it's overall just more comfortable in the hand. You know, it's
Oh,
nice,
close.
it's larger, it feels comfortable.
Mm.
The vibration and haptic feedback is apparently really good, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. People have been kind of meh with everything else. Like it's good, but it's not like rave worthy. I still think an Xbox Elite controller is the best controller I've ever used. I'll always think that because it is the best controller.
Okay, yeah, I'm not
But
a big
also,
fan of
you
the
know,
Xbox
I
controller.
don't think it's fair to, like, to be clear, I don't think it's fair to compare a PS5 controller to an Xbox Elite controller. Like, the Xbox Elite controller costs hundreds of pounds.
True.
It's a proper piece of kit that's meant to be expensive.
Does it have
you
adaptive
know.
triggers though?
Who cares?
So something I don't like about the PlayStation, and this is a very minor
You
thing.
ever owned an Elite controller and spent your entire life playing F1 2020 with hair trigger mode enabled without realizing, so you could only ever accelerating to like 20%?
We should play more.
Yeah, I did that.
Wait, you played
Yeah.
2020?
Or 12, oh fuck, whatever year it
Oh.
fucking is.
We should play 20.
It's all the same fucking game, innit? Does it matter?
I
what
might
year
actually
it
play.
is?
I might play some later. No, the thing I don't like about it is how you put the disc in, and I'm trying to get a good example to just a picture, but it's just a very minor thing that just really just annoys me. It shouldn't, but it just does. So for those who don't know, and actually this is something I saw. I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw someone post an image on Twitter. I don't know if it's an official product. I doubt it, but it was an external Blu-ray drive for the PS5.
Yeah.
Right.
So potentially that could be just a tactic of buy the cheaper console, get the Blu-ray drive, you're saving money and still getting the.
If it works over USB, then yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
But it has a USB 3 on it, so it can.
I'm trying to remember. I saw a tweet, and I can't remember because I didn't look at it very closely. I was scrolling through. It was one of the consoles. Someone tried to hook up a disk drive, and it wasn't having it. And I imagine logically it must have been the cheaper place. I'll see if I can find it now.
So, I'm gonna
I
put-
totally imagine the software looking it out of
So-
the digital edition. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is why the PS5 annoys me. You put the disc with the shiny side facing outwards.
That's the bit that annoys you. I thought you were going to
Yes.
say the location of the drive.
No, I don't care where that is. It's the fact that you have to put the disc in shiny side facing outwards. Because it's just
Oh.
different and it annoys me.
Sorry, I know where I saw it. It was because I saw
So-
a Twitter that aims to like just like saved you a click or something. I think it combats clickbait is the idea.
Oh, okay.
And it was someone's video which was titled like, "Can you use a USB Blu-ray drive with a PS5?" And then they just put nope. So
Oh,
I guess
interesting.
unfortunately that's not gonna. It might work, I guess, for perhaps different models if you. Could
Well, it
do
might
something
come
there.
out later because, again, on release, they're not allowing you to use the SSD expansion. No idea, no answer on when you can. But that's a thing PlayStation haven't done yet. The PlayStation did a lot of you can't do this weeks before it was released. Can't use it on a 1440p monitor. Can you use it on a 4K
I mean,
one?
that one's beyond
That's
me.
perfect. Yeah, honestly.
It really is beyond me. It cannot be more than a day's work to allow support for 1440p. If you have such a bad back end to your console that to support a resolution you'd have to write thousands of lines of code rather than just adding a bit of support, configuration into your fucking resolution and display output system, then you've done something wrong.
Most
I
definitely.
mean, like, come on, you're insane. You're working on a console, all of which have been based on like long-standing software that's been able to output 440p for
years
years,
of development. Yeah, absolutely.
right? And you're literally working with, God forbid, AMD Graphics, a company that's been working in graphics for years. It's not hard.
It's the hardest thing
Oh, I
ever,
see what
mate.
you mean about the shiny side thing. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
looking
it
at
just
you.
annoys me because it's like
It annoys me as well, but
I can
Yeah,
understand
I
for a
don't
style
know.
sake.
what
You,
annoys me more is the look of the overall console.
I like it. I like what
they've
I think
done.
Good for you.
because they've just
It
gone,
looks
and I
horrible.
said this on my stream the other day. I just said it. I think they've just gone. We're going to make our console the way we want to make it. And we're not going to give two shits.
Yeah, but they made so number one, the worst mistake anyone can make in designing anything is have anything with a glossy finish, and they've got a glossy finish.
Okay,
so that's
true.
immediately
Okay.
minus 5 points.
Yep.
Right. Number two, white looks terrible in every situation. Fuck white.
What about the Xbox?
It
Series
depends
X?
on your setup.
I
Like
think the
white
Xbox looks bad
computer
there as well.
cases.
White computer cases are ugly. White consoles are ugly. White TVs are ugly. White desks are ugly. White walls
Okay,
are ugly.
They
okay.
are
everything
if
Oh,
you
is
no.
don't
ugly.
have it set up right.
No.
They
Out of
can
all of
absolutely
those,
look fine.
white TVs, yes. Why in the world would you want a white TV?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was just
okay.
saying electronic appliances that came to my head.
Yeah, that is a
hope that's
genuinely
I don't think
ugly
I've ever seen a
thing.
white TV.
I'm
The
gonna have
closest
to
I've seen
look
is a
now,
silver
obviously.
CRT.
That's my
Um,
thing. I'm looking up now.
Just looked up white TV case, so you know. Well done to me.
God.
I'm trying to combine it all.
I just
Oh
don't
my
like
Oh, they
how
do
it looks.
exist.
They exist.
I like clean, square boxes that serve.
Oh,
That
no,
take
that's
as
the-
little space necessary, or as little obtrusive as necessary, and just blend it in as much as possible, which is why black works. It's garish, it's tall, it's weirdly
Oh
shaped,
my god.
and
Okay.
it's white.
So I just want
And
to post
glossy,
this one
yes.
because this is the worst white TV I've ever seen.
And to point out, that's not to say I don't dislike the Xbox either, because I do dislike the
Boo.
Xbox.
You're
I
an
feel like
I was
Xbox
going to say, let me
fanboy if I
fanboy.
counter
was the
that with an
person to say.
actual.
You're an Xbox fanboy,
Oh,
aren't you?
good God.
Yep.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
That I've just realised as well. That TV 720p,
What size?
32-inch.
Oh, yeah, it's still
That's-
bad, but it's like
That's a no.
imagine a 52
That's
inch
an
at
absolute
720p.
no for me. Oh
mean,
yeah,
our
but like
TVs at 720p.
24-inch monitors at 1080p, and you sit closer to them. Obviously, they're not all 10.
My
but
1440p monitor, my
Really?
1440p monitor is 27 inches, and that is what I would say is like a sweet spot where I can't see the pixels unless I get really close. If my 1440p monitor was 32 inches, I'm almost guaranteeing you I can see the pixels at my normal sitting distance. I can see them on my 1080p monitors right now, and I've not moved from where I normally sit. It's very easy. 1080p is a shit resolution. 720p is terrible. Why is it even considered HD?
Why? I would love to get out of that sort of 1080p.
This TV is over
but-
£200. Sorry, I don't know. If
Wait,
I mentioned
what?
that.
Jesus.
Oh, there we go. That's Charles. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I thought this was awful.
Jesus Christ.
Is it even a smart TV?
Well, presumably with the Netflix Prime Video Free Replay and YouTube buttons
Flipping it.
pasted on in Photoshop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, fair enough.
That's,
Hopefully, it should be.
presumably. It might not be. It's probably just a marketing ploy, but you know.
Mm. Good.
Oh shit. Oh fucking hell.
Oh.
I just read a crime that happened in Manchester, but it's just horrific. Like, I'll post it in chat because I don't want to talk about it because it is just one of those. It's just one of those awful,
Jesus.
awful things that happened.
Oh, I've seen worse.
Um.
Okay, well, that's not quite how you meant to respond to that. So
Oh, fine. I've seen this all over.
Christ.
So yeah, no. When do you think there'll be a time, or I don't know what I was going to say, do you think there will be a time where 4K is a standard? How long do you personally think it will take?
Oh, to find standard.
So, like, you know how 1080p was a standard, and I would say still is, to be completely
You
honest.
mean it's like the most common resolution used on anything above like entry grade hardware?
Yeah.
Not for a long time, frankly.
Yeah, I'd expect another at least half a decade.
I think
And even
TVs
then,
have been
that's
sort of
being-
settled on 4K for quite some time, but how many people actually buy TVs, I think, is a really overstated thing by like tech channels. Like, we haven't bought a TV in what year is it? Like 15 years, maybe 15, 16 years.
Yeah, we're coming
Because
up
we
on
just
two.
none of us care. Like no one here is particularly interested in having a 4K HDR experience. We're not trying to deny they look nice. I've seen them in stores and at other people's places. They look really nice. But like, we watch preview content most of the time. We don't own a Blu-ray capable. Well, I do own a Blu-ray capable console, but we don't own Blu-rays. Like, there's no point. Why would we spend that much money for something we're getting such little use out of? Like, our
More
720p
channels should be
glossy
4K.
fucking glass screen TV that we've had since 2004 is fine. Well, like 2006, I think, actually, but you know.
Well,
2006,
that's kind of what I'm hoping, and I doubt it'll be a thing with the 3080 Ti and the 6900 XT, etc. I'm hoping we'll get some more 4K high refresh rate monitors, because right now, unless you go up to TV sizes, there's probably a handful, like 5, 6, maybe a couple more.
No,
So
I
I'm
have to say that
hoping there'll be a little bit more of a push towards
there
that,
is definitely a standard, I would say, already of 4K in media work, in video
yes.
and shit. Even on YouTube, it's becoming tradition for most people to have 4K cameras, even if they only upload 1080p, just for the ability for, you know, the editing and zooming in and scene correction and such forth. So
Popping.
I definitely feel like 4K is kind of already the media standard that's used in TV and I mean, movies don't really count because they're filming probably an 8 or 12K on a cinema camera, but or on film if they're smart, because film's clearly better. Fuck digital. But you know.
Okay,
it's-
so I want to fight you on that. I will 100% agree. Film is, no matter what, better for actual, like, the look of it.
It's expensive though.
It is expensive. However, digital, you've got options, and there are movie makers who have definitely done very good films with digital cameras. I would say
I'm
one
not
of the
being fully serious.
yeah, no, film is still film is incredible, and you can't really beat the fidelity of film. But one of my favorite films, Knives Out, that came out, that was completely digitally filmed, but in the color correction was made to look like film. Like it had certain like, so when you're, for example, one of the examples was when you film a window, actual film reacts, the light reacts differently and kind of causes a weird sort of not bokeh, but sort of like a blur around where the light's coming, and sort of like a nice like a greeny
Yeah, I know the
hue.
effect you mean.
And they completely recreated that in digital due to color correction, and that's really cool. And a lot of this stuff is online, free. Yeah. It's really nicely done.
I think for me, like my main, this is a weird tangent to go down. I like the use of film on movies that are kind of expecting to be like a very, very, very long term popular, right? Because not that I'm expecting everyone to have an 8K TV in their house today, but if you film on a high quality, and don't get me wrong, it's not going to be cheap, expensive film today, you will be able to remaster that film in 8K with no issues down the line, right? And that's great for when 8K things become a thing, right? But that's obviously not most movies. I think RAW, like filming in like 12K RAW, is probably like the best digital solution, because you can create some beautiful shit with good cameras. I mean, like Mr. Robot is a great TV show that has some of the best cinematography I've ever seen, and that thing is shot entirely in like a fucking 6K or something, I think. RAW, and obviously it allows them to do. People underestimate what you can do with just RAW footage. If you have a high resolution sensor that has low noise and you film in RAW, you have a lot of flexibility of what you can do in post, and you can really make some scenes pop.
Definitely. No, I would completely agree with that.
Weird tangent over.
I was going to say something now about film, but I can't for the life of me remember. Good.
Gosh.
Fuck you. But yeah, no, film great. Digital great. We're getting into an like, what's his name? Christopher. I just want to say this. Christopher Nolan will, no matter what, stick with film, because he is an old school lad. Who is it? David Fincher. Nobody really looks at David. Like, this is a fun fact. Nobody looks at David Fincher's films and goes, he uses a lot of CG. When in reality, I think he would use more CG than a good amount of films. Like, especially hero films. He uses, I would say, about an equal amount of CG in there. But it's just so well done and so well hidden.
Also,
it's insane.
It depends where you're drawing the lines here, because I think people underestimate the amount of VFX and not CGI that goes into making movies. Yes. Like a lot of people seem to think that like X scene from a superhero movie where someone like jumps and like flies through the air for a bit or something, like a really close up detailed shot where it can't just be like in the background of a shot, was all done on a computer. It was all animated, and it wasn't just a stunt double in a studio with a blue screen or green screen behind him, right? Yeah. Because it was definitely that, and then composited into the shot, because that's gonna look way better. Yep. And I think people underestimate like how much just general VFX like it is done, and stunt work is done on movies.
So like,
and TV shows, like big TV shows. I rewatched Game of Thrones recently, and God, some of the CG in that hasn't aged. I mean, that fucking show only came out a couple of years ago. Like, fucking hell. Like, the wide city shots where it's just like, here's a city, the color of this section of the city is just completely wrong. Don't ask. Like, okay.
Yeah. No, that's
What's the disc Game of Thrones?
Sorry. I've never seen it. I've heard okay about it. I just don't think it would be my sort of film.
It's good for you. It's a TV show then.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I like Game of Thrones. It's not my most favorite thing in the world. I just how do I describe it? It's a very nice show in that it's never particularly bad. It's just also never particularly good. It has its moments. Don't get me wrong. There are some specific moments that I really enjoy. But like I wouldn't call it like the best TV series ever made. The best TV series I've ever watched is Mr. Robot, and it always will be for quite a long time. I don't expect anything to beat it. The journey of the characters, the absolutely stellar cinematography, the fancy episodes it does episodes that have quirks in them, episodes of zero dialogue, episodes that are entirely filmed in one shot.
Ooh.
all sorts of things that it throws some really interesting things in there while sticking to a really interesting set of characters and a really interesting storyline that's hard to predict, subvert your expectations numerous times. It's an absolutely stellar show. I cannot recommend it enough. Game of Thrones would be half as good as Mr. Robot in my book, pushing half, frankly. It doesn't mean I think it's a bad show. It's just not great. It's just kind of a slow burn, decent show. It's very, very highly produced. It's very expensive. There are a lot of the first season is not as highly produced, but once the first season took off, every season after it, you can tell the amount of money spent on that film in VFX and CGI and costumes is crazy. And the amount of work that must have gone into some of the shots, obviously I'm trying to spoil here. It's a thing about some people that wanted to be king and queen, so there'd be medieval armies battling and all that. There are some huge shots of thousands of people running into each other and being trampled by horses and killed, and it's all in one fluid shot. Like it's beautifully done, and it's mostly CG, but it still looks really nice. Like, to be fair, there's one shot in one specific episode in season 6 or 7.
Well, you don't know your seasons?
Where there's probably about 500, 600 horses running at one person, and that shot was shot without a stunt double, and it looks fucking beautiful. Like, because like it obviously the CG looks good, but it's still CG. It's noticeable pretty well, especially if you know what you're looking for. There's a difference between like all of the other shots in that overall battle and that one opening shot, because you're looking at the horses, the way they're tearing up the mud. Like it really is beautiful. It's a great show. I really enjoy it. I think it's a good watch. I just don't think it's as rated. It's not as good as people seem to think it is. There's a lot of problems with the show. Although if you want to see a lot of sex and incest, it's good for that.
The fuck?
There's a lot of tits.
Lovely family-friendly incest.
Oh yeah,
my favourite.
There's a lot of incest in the show.
Is there?
Also a slightly weird narrative of kind of pushing one particular form of incest, which is a slight concern I have with the writers, as well as other things they did. Because if you don't know, the books, Game of Thrones book series isn't finished.
Oh, it isn't, is it? Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, George R. R. Martin's still writing. So basically, the first 5 seasons were mostly accurate to the books. A couple of characters were like 2 characters from the books merged into one for the purpose of the show. Standard things in show writing, right? Anyone that knows anything about adapting a novel for a TV show, you do these things. It just makes more sense for a TV show. It's really hard for people to keep track of like 400 characters on a TV show. It's a lot easier in a book, because names are mentioned every single like page, pretty much. But yeah, it's still like overall pretty good. There's just a couple writing issues that I definitely do have problems with.
So
there's one line that just doesn't make any sense at one point in like the final season of the show, which was questionable in its writing as it was. There's one character who's had all of this character building and then just says a line completely contradictory to it, and it just makes 0 sense. It's like, thanks.
Interesting.
Think I vaguely know about.
So just some interesting news for those who might care. Currently, and I highly recommend this game, Smud Runners is free on Epic Store.
Smud Runners?
Yeah, Mud Runners.
It's Thursday.
Oh,
man.
So,
that was Thursday.
Highly recommend anybody getting that. Also, a lot of games are on sale. Really good games as well that are decently cheap right now. So, keep an eye out. I don't know if this is correct, but do correct me, Alfie. Epic is the way to go if you want to actually give the company who made the game or the developers money.
More of the money that you spend on a game, if you buy it through the Epic Game Store, will go to the developers and the publisher.
There you go. That's all I wanted to say.
That can be a good or bad thing. Take your choice. If you
Pro
particularly
Skater
don't like
1 and 2
Ubisoft,
remastered,
because Ubisoft are a very, very bad company, not the individual workers at Ubisoft, but the company and corporate structure itself and those in charge of it,
the workers.
then feel free to buy your games through Steam. Feel free to pirate them, for all I care. Actually, in fact, if you really like the look of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, please pirate it. Hundreds of hours of devs' work went into that game, and conveniently, devs are paid by the hour, not by sales of the game. So you not buying the game will have 0 effect on how much money those devs make. They've already been laid off. That's how the games industry works. Pirate the game if you want to play it. Don't give Ubisoft money, please. Or if you really like Hades or something, then go buy it on Epic Games. It's great.
Jackbox 7 is £19. That's not much of a sale.
Don't buy Jackbox 7.
Why?
It's Jackbox.
Oh.
Yeah.
I forgot Zombie came onto PC or came onto everything else. That Wii U game that. Well, we know how the Wii U went.
Oh, what? Zombie U? Except I'm assuming they've dropped the U.
Yeah.
It's elsewhere. Why? I don't remember. I think I remember that being.
I didn't even know
like...
that was a game.
Yeah, it was a really weird
I think
game.
it was a launch title for the Wii U.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it was about the only semi-decent game
On the
It's
Wii
only
U, at
game
least.
that I remember, apart from one Mario game.
Oh, Crisis Remastered is £18. That's £10 off.
Oh, I don't think I have any of my vouchers anymore for Epic. That's a shame.
Oh, fuck, nor do I. I don't think.
I probably have got Tony Hawk's, to be honest.
How do I check? I assume just...
You go to yourself in the bottom left corner and then click on coupons.
Oh, thanks, fam. I
Yeah,
don't.
I'm a regular
No.
Epic user. Then
Oh.
just open the launcher and press on myself and figure out that's where it rolls through basic pattern practice in UI.
Oh,
Yes,
Christ.
I would like to buy Mud Runner for $19.99 with a discount of $19.99. Thank you.
Perfect.
Do not want to share my email with them because why would I ever take that inbox?
True.
I literally
Um,
ask that on every single Epic Games purchase.
Oh, is something downloading? Whoops. Oh, Satisfactory. That would explain it.
Epic Games likes to update things the second you open it. You got to be careful. It's
Oh,
very update hungry.
That's one thing that annoyed me. So I decided to play Flight Simulator to see how it ran on my new CPU. I was just curious. Well, I updated it. It was a 22GB update, which you have to do in game because it's.
I mean, all
Like
I
Flight
would warn you
Simulator.
is I haven't followed it, but last time I looked at Flight Simulator performance, it was on Matt's system where it was running better whenever he tabbed out.
Interesting. I never actually got
so-
into the game because
the
I had to go and do
game's a bit
something.
weird.
But the worst thing happened. I completely forgot I didn't renew my Game Pass. But this didn't come up because this didn't come up at the time. I played the game. I thought about playing Sea of Thieves. No issue. I could launch the game. I did. It wasn't until I got an email from Microsoft later that day or the day after, I can't remember, saying that my Game Pass purchase or my Game Pass Game Pass failed. To renewal.
To Gabe renewal?
Okay. It didn't give me any warning that I had to
fair.
renewal it. It just let me launch the game and assumed I wanted to.
He said it again.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep making the Gabe renewal joke.
Renew.
Speaking of,
Which
the
really
Steam
pisses me
Autumn
off.
sale has just begun.
Oh, cool. Let's
This
check.
literal second if you're listening live.
Let's
It
check.
wasn't just this second.
Well, I just got the email about it, okay?
It started yesterday. Let's not lie to the audience.
Okay, Steam's very late on his emails then, never mind.
Yes, no, it absolutely is.
Jesus Christ. Calm
I
down.
check the Steam store regularly, Gabe. Like, Jesus Christ,
Okay,
send me the
so
email at a reasonable time.
This is something.
My cat just turned my printer
I look
on.
at the
Hang on, I'm
Steam
gonna turn
store
that
and I
off.
go to fucking top selling and 90% of it's just porn.
So this is something I don't think should be an article, but it shows you the world we live in. I just saw something that was put up 3 days ago saying Cyberpunk 2077 will let players toggle copyrighted music on and off. Now, as far as I'm
Yeah.
aware, that's been an option in most big games with copyrighted music for a while now.
The games I remember in specifically was Life is Strange, and if you turned off copyrighted music, there was no music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
remember that.
It's,
I don't know if perhaps this means they've got copyright-free
I
alternative.
hope they
I'd
have
hope so.
alternatives.
Oh,
Because
That really should be
Can
the
you just,
standard.
can we
by
just
now.
picture, right? Night City, all of that cool glitz and glamour,
Oh,
but there's just silent.
silence.
Oh,
yeah.
Just
What?
no music, no sounds. The sound effects they used also
Yeah.
copyrighted.
Oh,
just
that'd be awesome.
nothing.
Yeah.
The dialogue, it's Keanu Reeves' voice. Well, if you only
It's
know anything about
copyrighted.
how actors works, their
Yeah,
licenses and different things is
gotta
normally
pay
registered out to a
Keanu
company,
royalties.
so the
Yeah.
actor's license isn't actually even owned by Keanu himself, and they don't have the copyright for it. So he's just silent. He just mouths at you.
honestly.
That's the dream.
Talking about that,
We've got a city to ban.
talking about that, genuinely, I found it. I want the game to do well, much as I don't. I want the game to do well.
I don't. They're transphobic fucks.
But but I really hope it's
Jesus.
done a Suicide Squad, and Keanu Reeves is literally in the first 5 minutes of the game, and then you never see him because
From
it's
what I've
copyrighted.
Seen of little bits of the game, because also I've not been keeping up with it. I think he's a thing pretty much. Like,
I think he's permanently in the game with you.
I'm pretty sure he's the main secondary character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I just find
you
it
are the protagonist
funny.
and he's the second in place.
Oh, he's not a cat. He's in your
protagonist
head.
In protagonist in
Okay,
chief.
whoa, let's
I don't
just
know.
jump straight into the spoilers.
It's
Oh, yeah.
it's
And
from the trailers.
Speaking of, again,
Find
I
out
would
in
like
first
people to always understand how the games industry works. So the games industry will mass hire a bunch of people to develop a game. They will then crunch those people, and then when the game releases, they will fire them and cut down to a much smaller team to just fix bugs and publish updates. Okay, that is what CDPR is doing. Note that CDPR is a notoriously transphobic company. There's many videos you can find on that. Notably, Jim Sterling's done some excellent content on it. So if you're looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077, please pirate it. It will have zero effect on the devs, and they will get all of their money, and they will be laid off all the same and be out of work during a pandemic, just the same, after having to work 12-hour days during a pandemic, just the same, in a country that's made it illegal to be LGBT, which is great. So yeah, just pirate the game. Please don't pay money for it.
I would
It's
love
terrible.
to,
The company's awful.
but I feel bad. Also knowing me, I'll
Why?
probably get a virus, so
I mean, that's reasonable.
like I'm just useless at
I'll pirate
anything.
it for you, don't worry.
I appreciate it. Like I would play the game if I could, because I'm interested to see it,
Yeah.
and I like Keanu Reeves. It's really a polar opposite thing because you've got this horrific company and then this absolutely wonderful man. I hope he hasn't
Yeah.
done anything bad because from what I know, he's genuinely a down to earth, lovely
do you-
person.
Do you feel that you can't trust celebrities anymore with the amount of them that have been ousted as pedophiles? Right?
Yeah.
I feel like I can't like Keanu Reeves because 20 years down the line I'll be like talking to my fucking grandkids or whatever. I don't know how I was fast, but like, you know, whatever. I'll be talking to like family or something and be like, oh, I remember Keanu Reeves, he's great. And then the next day we'll wake up to a news story that's abused 406 kids. Like, I
Yeah.
just feel like I can't trust any celebrity anymore.
I hope he's like, because he is genuinely a lovely person. From what we are,
He's
like,
breathtaking.
yeah, he's breathtaking. He's just chill. He's lovely. Hopefully, yeah. So I'm just looking at the Steam sale right now. There's some alright stuff on here.
Is there?
Yeah. There's some stuff I'm tempted to get, like Dirt 2. Because everybody's
I mean,
playing it.
$4.99 for Dirt 2 is pretty reasonable.
Floor guys, yeah. I didn't realize they added a DLC. Okay.
It's the medieval shit.
No, it's called City. I assume it's a map.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, okay. I assumed that it was just like the season passy thing. I didn't know they'd. added
Kingdom Come
anything else.
Deliverance is being suggested for me for $12.49. It's pretty reasonable for Kingdom Come
Ooh,
Deliverance if you haven't
not
played
bad.
it. It's a great RPG.
Satisfactory is still £22. Still a decent deal. It's £27 for the game is a decent deal.
Yep, and if you're going to buy Satisfactory, I highly recommend you do it on Epic Games to give them more money.
Mud Runners is £4 on Steam. You might as well get it for free on Epic Games.
Yep. Hades is 20% off at $15.59. Absolute steal for one of the best games this year. And in fact, I will just flat say now my game of the year.
Fair.
Followed very, very closely by Superliminal.
Play the games that are suggested to me that apparently other players like is Foxhole. I already have Foxhole.
Well, buy it
There you
again.
go, then you'll like it.
Well, maybe it's just you gifted. Hey, other players like this is on sale right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It is
maybe
almost
that is
Christmas.
because I got gifted that by a friend, so he gifted it to me, expecting me to play it with him, and then we never played it. I haven't even played the game.
Spyro Reignited Trilogy, $17.49 if you played Spyro growing up.
Oh
Good pick up.
wow!
Hmm.
Blazing Sails, I forgot that game existed. Oh my god, yeah, that blatant.
Power 4, £6.47.
Should we
Have
all
you
get
seen
Blazing Sails because it is a blatant rip-off of
Oh,
That sounds like a good reason to
Sea
get
of Thieves.
something. It being a-
Sea of Thieves. It's only £9 at the moment.
What's it was called? Sorry.
Blazing Sails.
Oh,
I didn't realize this
okay.
game was out it was being developed for a while now. I thought it just came out because of one of the gaming events, but no, it's been in development for quite a while now, and it is like, as much as I don't want to
Pirate
say it,
Battle Royale?
it is
Oh my God.
it is blatantly a Sea of Thieves ripoff, both visually, like the gameplay, the customization. It's
Okay, so visually I can kind of see that. I'd argue it's hard to put down the thing, but if there are other elements, sure.
look at its customization.
Let me do
Like
that.
the menu almost looks identical.
To be fair, I went to their website and like the way the art style and the terrain is exactly the same, and the island that I'm looking at is an island I recognise from Sea of Thieves.
Like I was like, are they?
What were the other things? How do you mean the gameplay elements?
Oh, for one, it looks like they've got the same guns. Maybe not.
No.
The thing I kind of see there a similarity that appears to be a sniper rifle made of. Well, but there's only so much you can have from that time. What else are you gonna do on pirate ships apart from shoot people?
I mean, to be fair, looking at like the screenshots they've got on their website, it is just shit as Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna buy it, the logistics are you're getting a shitter experience.
True. It's only
So,
£9 though,
yeah.
so it's half the price. So you're expecting half the expense.
System to Sea of
True.
Thieves.
Look, at least you should expect half
The
the fun. I'm curious how it
If you-
plays out, but
if you're a Resident Evil fan, Resident Evil 3 remake is at $16.49 right now, which is a good price.
oh wow, that's not bad.
Down from 50. Oh, Destiny 2's on sale for free.
What is? Oh, Destiny 2. Oh, it's because the
Thank
new
you, Steam.
DLC came out, so.
Sea of Thieves is on sale,
Interesting.
£26.24.
Oh
Players
wait,
in
what's
sales
this?
Similar to games I've played, Call of Duty Global Offensive, player unknown battlegrounds. Don't think I've
Right,
played either of those
so
in the last
there
year. I'm not
is-
sure either of them are
Thank
particularly-
God, honestly.
So from what I can tell, there is a free-to-play, basically Scribble.io on Steam
Right.
called Scribble It. So if we ever want to play, fucking what's it called? Pictionary,
That's not a K brain.
you can just do
That is
that.
a K, it's in the wrong place.
It looks a bit more complicated, but it looks just like.
I'm not finding that one. Am I?
Yeah, so Sea of Thieves is on sale on Steam right now with free
£22.
items. You get a
Oh.
Black Friday deal where you get a set of instrument skins, a weapon skin, and a pet, and some in-game currency to spend in the microtransaction store.
Not bad. It's on
That's
sale for
reasonable.
£26. Wait, Daisy's on sale? Let me check how much this is for sale. This is on next generation consoles. I don't think they've made a single update to the game since.
Okay, yeah, it just sort of seems like a guess the picture someone's drawing game, but hey, it's free. Looks to be some nice customization.
Just looks like we should just play.
Oh, there's a premium edition.
Yeah, we should just play racing games after this. I'm generous. What?
True, true. Going to have
Fuck's
virtual queues after
sake.
this, but then afterwards.
Oh my god. So I just went on to Daisy, just looking at it, and I scrolled all the way down to the bottom. And the first review I saw was from Epstein's Luxury Cruises, which is just, yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, Steam's a bit
Oh.
like that.
Yeah, I remember
Jesus
when I said they weren't going
Christ.
to regulate anything unless it's like really illegal, basically. And even
mean,
then, they've
I-
not always done that.
You say Steam confuses me with its regulation because I don't know if any of you saw about the Dota banning.
Oh, I
controversy
saw
lately.
I saw an article on it. I didn't read into it.
I'm not fully an expert, but basically, from what I understand, someone that works at Valve played Dota with someone, thought or accused someone of throwing their Dota game, got angry and put them on the banned list. Which basically
What?
wasn't like they couldn't play the game, but it was like they could queue, but they'd be put like on with other throwers,
Interesting.
basically. Which is like a
Right.
thing many games do. Like Overwatch has a throwers queue and shit, where if you're throwing your account, the drop SR will just put you with other throwers, and then everyone's just throwing, and it kind of saves normal people having to be played with you, right? Obviously, it's not a perfect algorithm; it's an algorithm, but it does its best. So yeah, and then I think Valve is now like banned from banning people in Dota or something, which is funny because it's their own game, but well, sort of their own game. So like, yeah,
Jeez.
it's a bit weird.
Hey, good news. Pommel Party is on the top sellers list.
Can't wait for a new map. It's been a little bit now, hasn't it, since we had new
True.
stuff?
I-
Let's see.
what was
June
I gonna-
25th.
Assassin's Creed Origins is £10. That is an actually okay game. Yeah, Gary's Mod is £4. Anybody
It's just
cares?
gonna keep you going, isn't it? That
Yeah.
one.
Dead by Daylight is $5.99.
Not bad.
But more significantly, in my opinion,
How much of a
for
DLC?
is that every single DLC is 40% off, apart from the two most recent, which are 30% off, but that's still £3.50.
Yeah, that's decent.
Oh, that's money though.
To be fair, I actually do think Dead by Daylight is relatively reasonably priced.
Well,
We're speaking about Twitch's struggles with licensing for music, and then Dead by Daylight's like, hi, here's one of the most iconic horror characters of ever, Michael Myers. Would you like to guess how much Michael Myers cost? Oh yeah, it's like £2.
Yeah.
Well, it's like £4, but you know, that's still pretty reasonable.
Aren't they a relatively small company?
They're like a medium-sized company, yeah.
Yeah.
They've definitely grown as their game got popular. Stranger Things was their big hit. I remember when I've been playing the game a lot
They
recently.
made
again.
Stranger Things?
Yeah, they did personally. But when I used to play the game a lot, the game would sort of peak at 16,000 active users.
Right.
The queues at the rank 1, which is the highest ranking you can be as a survivor, would take, depending on the time of day, 10 to 15 to 40 minutes. Now the game is normally peaking in a 24-hour period at around 35,000 users. And that's all purely because of the Stranger Things DLC. It massively boosted the game. A lot of people don't give it enough credit because a lot of people started to see Dead by Daylight become popular on YouTube with people like Nupri and that. And it was, don't get me wrong, but the Dead by Daylight DLC Stranger Things DLC really like brought in an audience to the game on console especially that people weren't expecting. Oh, well, that's an important thing as well. There's crossplay in Dead by Daylight as well now. And that's another thing I hate about consoles.
Oh.
And I'm really excited about the new consoles is that
Good
in
luck
Dead by
playing
Daylight,
on controller.
when you're loading into a match, the game obviously will wait for the last person's load in, right?
Yeah, like
it does
most
this in the
games.
classic behavior interactive style, in that technically speaking, actually, when it gets to the start of the match, after everyone's loaded, if you're on a faster PC, you will start the match first. Don't question it. It's fine and fair and balanced. But it's only by like 4 seconds, but it isn't technically a thing.
That's
But
enough for
consoles
some
take
characters
obviously
to
a
get to you.
considerable amount longer than slow PCs to load, because consoles tend to be on slow hard drives, which means a lot of loading right now, because it's very common for you to have a console player or console killer if you're on like a 3-stack survive with friends, is that you just load to full on your PC and has to sit and wait for like 4 more minutes for the console to load in, and it's very annoying. So I actually am in love with the new consoles with their fast SSDs because I want people to own them so that I don't have to wait in my Dead by Daylight games.
Well,
Please.
unfortunately for you, you're going to have to wait because all of the PlayStations apparently have run out.
Yeah.
From someone inside PlayStation saying that. I don't know about the Xbox, but
What are they doing in there?
I'm pretty sure it's a very small space, isn't it?
the Xbox is tiny, but you can stand up at least.
Overheat.
Oh man.
You might
Yeah,
vape.
it's not been great for tech launches, has it? It's all been very
Oh, Call of Duty's had a shit show.
scalpy and out of. Oh, yeah, that too. I was thinking the hardware, but yeah, no, the
Okay.
software, I suppose,
Hey,
hasn't been.
I saw people complaining about Call of Duty's lobby system. You guys don't know about lobbying. Go back to Dead by Daylight in its early days. You would queue with someone. You get in a lobby together. You both ready up. Nothing would happen. You'd rejoin a lobby, and you would be kicked out of the lobby. After every single match, you'd have to rejoin the group and reform it in full every single time. Again, which all of the time, very regularly, someone wouldn't be able to join. You'd have to change who was host until you eventually get it to work. Sometimes when you'd queue, you'd get a match, but only 3 out of the 4 of you would load in. People that were talking about Call of Duty and its fucking lobby issues don't know shit. You never live through the real shit.
So I just want to say, I don't know why I have
think they've
F1
got a
2015
skill-based
still installed.
ranking system, which God, if only someone made a video on.
Oh,
explaining
yes.
That would be
I wonder how that video...
Tell me
Actually,
any
someone commented
ideas.
on that, but I never replied to it.
Is it weird that I was going to watch that video but then forgot?
Oh,
Yes,
I
you should watch
appreciate...
everything Charlie does.
Yes,
Well, I was
that's...
actually interested in what you had to say.
It's just been pissing me off. But okay, so to summarise it, since you don't have to put yourself through that
Whoa,
horrific
taking
mess...
away views.
Yeah.
Gosh, the things he does for us.
Just for you guys. To summarise it, I am saying that I don't think SBMM is a bad thing for the general player base. At least I haven't seen many people complain about it. It's just the odd one or two. I say that the biggest issue it's become a controversy, at least nowadays, is because it's just making content creators have a harder job for making good content. Because obviously you're not going to have 3 games in a row where you're absolutely smashing it,
Yeah.
especially in Warzone. It is annoying, but I've just never had issues with it, and I don't understand why it's become
What a
such...
weird problem to even
Yeah.
suggest.
This is
having
interesting,
as
actually, because
well.
this was a big
Oh.
topic on a podcast I listened to.
Is it called the Clip It podcast?
It isn't, sadly. I can't remember. It
Gosh.
was either the Four Heads podcast or the Plat Chat podcast for Overwatch. But I think it was the Four Heads. Maybe? I don't know, whatever.
It was a podcast.
It was a podcast. And basically, what they were discussing is what is better, right? Skill-based matchmaking, random matchmaking, or engagement-based matchmaking. To clarify here, skill-based matchmaking attempts to determine your skill and group your players of equivalent skill.
Mhm.
Engagement-based matchmaking attempts to make you in the game as long as possible. That's a very complicated thing to say because it's obviously very algorithmic, but the basic way is trying to put you in games where you have big win streaks, maybe a small loss, a couple small losses, then a big win streak again, right? So it's games that make you feel like you're having value. And make you want to keep playing, because the longer you play, the more likely you are to keep spending money on the game, blah, 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 blah. And then random matchmaking is random. And it really, the agreement was that in that podcast, and I would mostly agree with the conclusions they came to, is that it really depends on the game, right?
Yep.
In something like Overwatch or CSGO, you cannot justify engagement or random-based matchmaking, right? You need in the competitive modes, to clarify. In the quick play modes and casual, yeah, absolutely, go full on engagement. In fact, it will make everyone's experience better, and you should totally do that. And in fact, they do quite literally do that. At least Overwatch does. But like you can't have a competitive mode where instead of looking at your rank in CS:GO, it just decides to put you like your gold Nova and it puts you against like Silver 2 or something, because it's just like, yeah, we just want you to win and make you feel good. Like, that's just stupid, right? But the argument that came up, they were discussing Warzone specifically, because this was when the controversy over Warzone's matchmaking came a thing. Because if I remember right, they enabled skill-based matchmaking in Warzone for a temporary time and then disabled it after outrage in the community.
Pretty sure it's still in the game. I think it's not ever been taken out.
Oh, called mobile, does it?
Yeah. So the conclusion they came to in the podcast was that they said they'd removed it, but they hadn't, and it was actually still a thing in the background because it was the best way to please players.
Right.
And the thing was, there was basically two camps that formed in the podcast. One is that when you play a game like Warzone, you shouldn't be regularly winning because the chances of regularly winning are really low because you're playing versus 100 people. If one person wins, you're playing versus 100 people. You obviously don't want to be. You're not going to be winning 10 games in a row. That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Right? But obviously, also that feels bad. And the thing with a game like Warzone is it's very rapid. You drop in, you shoot some shit, you're dead. You drop in, you shoot some shit, you're dead. You're out of the game next match. It's very fast paced, very snappy. Like Call of Duty is, like Battlefield is, that they're all both very, very, very action intense, right? One of the things that I always found weird as a particular lack of a fan in both series is how angry some kids get. You've obviously got like the generic traditional like squeakers and shit raging in your COD lobby at dying or like being spawn camped and shit. Because I'm like, you're complaining about being spawn camped. You've been spawn camped in Overwatch. You have to wait like 12 seconds, 16 seconds for your respawn every single time. Meanwhile, you're getting spawn camp where it's like, oh no, I'm dead, I'm back, I'm respawned, I've killed him. Oh no, I've been killed by someone else, I'm dead, I'm back, I'm respawned, I've killed him, I'm killed too, I'm dead. Like, it's so fast paced. How can you complain?
Can I just ask
insane to me.
something?
Yeah.
Have you been playing Warzone recently? Because I swear I've had that voice somewhere.
But like, yes. So I feel like in something like Warzone, skill-based matchmaking is good for certain people, right? If you're trying really hard to win, it's good for you because it makes your games fairer. If you're a content creator, it's bad for you because it takes more work for you to get a stomp in a game where you can upload your 72 kills Warzone game to YouTube and get big views, right?
I should start doing that.
So there was definitely outrage from some content creators against skill-based matchmaking for that reason. At the same time, I think for a game like Warzone, and I would go as far as to say near enough any battle royale, engagement-based matchmaking is probably better if you mix it with skill-based matchmaking. Mostly focus on engagement. One, because you're running a game as a service, as a company, it's in your interest to try and make people continue playing Warzone as long as possible and give you all of their money, right? But if someone's playing Warzone, there is so much opportunity for someone to die. I don't think it's bad, even in a skill-based system, if you have that every 5 losses, you try and put them in a game where they're likely to win, right? I'm going to use random ELO numbers here. someone that's at 10,000 ELO in Warzone, right? They lose 6 games in a row, which are quite fast-paced, right? 6 games sounds like a lot, but if they die early in those games, it's not a particularly long time, right? Give them a game that they can win by putting them against like 5,000 ELO players, right? They're very likely to win that because they're just fat better. I definitely think that's not a bad thing in a game like Warzone. As long as you're not doing it regularly. If you're entirely engagement based, it's a problem because then those poor 5,000 ELO players are getting stomped on all the time by content creators and people that are really good at the game. But if you just occasionally throw in engagement, I think it's a good thing for a battle royale. So for a normal COD game, it's a lot harder for me to justify the engagement. Right, like it would just seem the whole like being spawn camped, like the fast rapidness. It seems bad to me to then put someone in a lobby of like young kids, right, that are not playing that well, with someone that's 30 and playing almost perfectly. They've got great aim, great positioning, great strategy, and it's just dominating them because that's just not fun, right? Like the whole point of COD and the whole point of Battlefield and all of those games is kind of just being able to constantly shoot shit. Is the simplest way I could describe it. You don't want to be dead all the time, and that's why they're generally quite fast-paced, quite low respawn time. Even when you do end a game or get out of a game, you quite often get into a game quite quickly again. It's very flowing, and I feel like for that reason, just having fair matches just makes more sense to me. Like, it just would seem weird to do anything else.
I just want to spit some real facts, and I'm sorry for you who hate me for this. But I think one of the big things one of the big reasons I think it's hit a lot of traction recently, because apparently, and this comes from one of the devs from Treyarch, if I'm not wrong, SBMM's been in Call of Duty at different different variants since Black Ops 2. So that was 2013. I think the reason it's come big now is because it gives a lot of bad players a reason, or it gives them an excuse. Oh, I'm not bad, it's SBMM. Personally, I think that's a huge part of it. There are people who
this
obviously are being put in bad lobbies. Honestly, that does happen.
This is something that came up on a podcast, right? Let's give us a hypothetical scenario, right? We're talking about a 9-year-old kid playing Black Ops Cold War, right?
Something in the throat.
They're terrible. Yeah. Their aim is off. They're unable to track people. They're unable to flick. They're throwing their items and grenades terribly. They've got a bad loadout. Their movement is terrible, right? They're dying repeatedly. They're in a very low-tier skill-based lobby. Does that person not have a right to just play the game for fun, though? They're bad at the game.
Yeah, no,
There's no denying that. They're shit at the game. They're absolutely fucking positively terrible. They don't have a right to have fun.
I say they should have a setting.
Environment the correct decision?
I'm a very competitive person, so I feel like anything I say is slightly off. And as you know, the most recent Battle Royale I played with quite a big advantage. For a while, I think the game's finally cottoned on. I'm at the level where other people are at a similar
I
point.
I definitely think that having different modes, honestly, in my opinion, is the solution.
Yeah,
I'm not particularly versed in like Black Ops and how like the current system works in like modern day, but like in Overwatch, I would absolutely see no reason why quick play and the arcade modes shouldn't be engagement based, right? If you're playing the modes that are purely meant, they're not serious, they're not competitive, you have any obligation to play well, you're just there to play for fun. I see no reason why they shouldn't run those on an algorithm that determines as best as possible to give every single player that plays a good experience and keep them playing as long as possible. I cannot see a single argument against that.
Yeah,
it makes
no.
total sense. But in the competitive mode, it should be skill-based. And I definitely feel like having an option like that, so there's people that are bad, can be placed into situations through engagement matchmaking, where they are able to get kills, able to have a good time, and able to have fun, even if it came down to the point where someone is, this is just hypothetical, but so bad at Call of Duty that you give them aim assist on PC or something, right?
Yeah.
Just so they can feel that they're doing something once in a while in the non-competitive modes, but in the... And I know that technically so many modes are competitive in COD. I'm speaking proper competitive modes, ranking, ELO, matchmaking, competitive rule sets, right? Which, quite frankly, in my opinion, and I know this will be somewhat controversial, from what I'm aware, I haven't known a single one of those in any Call of Duty game that I've ever looked at for more than 2 seconds.
Okay, so that's what I was just...
Because they're always kind of unbalanced, they're very fast-paced, loadout changes just make it's too flexible to have a competitively integral and fair mode in the way that Overwatch does. I would argue
That's
that
what I was gonna
CS:GO doesn't
say.
have an integral competitive mode in that you can pick the map, and that's stupid because you can just master all of the angles on one map and then climb higher than your actual average rank across all of the map across the whole game because the game is stupid and really badly balanced. Like, in general, I wouldn't say that, but there should be a hardcore competitive mode that is very, very, very strictly skill based, that is about people that want to challenge themselves, to grow in skill, and to play as tactically and strategically as best as possible. And there should be a mode by little Timmy that's playing like absolute ass to be able to have a great fucking time.
Yeah, no, I say in the video that there should be at least a setting, maybe not even a hidden setting, just a setting that allows you to not be in not have skill based matchmaking. And like it, so a lot of the thing I've heard is there's people are complaining because there's not many game modes in Cold War currently, and there's not many maps. I can see why they've done this though, and I don't think it's Treyarch's decision. It's more of Activision's, because season passes have become the norm. So obviously they're going to bring, well, they've confirmed they're bringing more season passes. That's bringing more game modes in season 1 as well as new maps. So they're not going to release everything because Activision wants to make money, but also try and extend its lifespan, I guess, by adding more stuff. Because the harsh reality is we live in a world where you release a game, people expect stuff monthly, or at least more content,
especially in
its
that
game's
sort of
life.
game that's very popular on consoles.
Yeah, or like
Not
even
so much
Sea
in
of Thieves
PC
is a good
games.
example. Like people are.
I mean, that's a big game on consoles though. It's huge on console.
Oh yeah, it was an Xbox exclusive for a year or two. Now, just something I wanted to say and I completely forgot about. There's rumours that there's going to be a PSVR 2.
Yeah,
And
there are rumors.
And I don't know if you guys have seen the image of it, but the controllers look pretty decent if that was anything to be trusted by. It does look like they're going from, again, this is...
It was kind of shit in my opinion,
that looks
actually.
particularly decent. Yeah,
So-
I'm not a fan of the controllers.
So,
That's just me.
again,
I
this
would
is
say
all
they still look
leaked.
better than the Vive ones.
Yeah.
Although I would like to point out the Vive ones are like the worst controllers made for anything ever.
So this is completely leaked, but it looks like it's going for a better tracking system on the head instead of the lights.
Yes, which is a good decision.
Yes, the lights weren't the worst, but they definitely weren't good.
It ruined the experience for a lot of people.
Yeah, most definitely. But this is something I think PlayStation have always done something. I don't know, like the controller I feel like is the selling point of the PlayStation at the moment.
Yeah.
There's very little I would go for an Xbox. I really don't care. I don't care which console does best. They're both consoles. They both do great stuff in their own way. But PlayStation tried the VR headset thing with the PS4. It did all right, especially for the price of it. It was all right. It wasn't the best. It's better than fucking. It's in between mobile headsets and PC headsets. It's a little bit between. So if they can actually master this, I think it would definitely, and if they can price it right, it would definitely be a hell of a good point. Not just for PlayStation, but just for gaming in general, and bringing VR to a consumer level. Because at the moment we have good headsets, shit programmers.
We have terrible headsets.
How?
The Vive is the best option for a all-rounder headset if you don't want to have to go with Oculus for social concerns around Facebook, and the Vive is a shit headset by today's standards. The Index is a stellar headset, but it is in absolutely zero way a reasonable thing that I would ever recommend anyone purchasing because it's expensive as shit. The Index is great. I enjoy mine a lot, but it's a top spec product. It's not what I would recommend to people. I can't recommend people Oculuses because of the Facebook situation.
Yeah.
I cannot justify recommending something to someone that I know they might just have all of their purchases deleted and the data collection aspects of that anyway. Frankly, I cannot name a headset that I can actually recommend to someone right now other than just buying secondhand Vive. Because I think secondhand Vive is still the best entry to VR in my opinion because it's just cheap.
Secondhand, yeah. I think depending on what you're looking for out of VR and your PC, obviously.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Reverb
PC as well.
G2 could be. I think it's
Yeah,
got
it's
quite good
decent.
potential, especially because it's more on the wireless end of the VR spectrum.
I mean, like, let's have a look. A HTC Vive system now from CEX is £280. That's for the full system. Headset, base stations, and controllers. £280 for full VR is pretty reasonable, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
True.
And
I-
it's definitely where I'd recommend people enter.
I
But in
did
general, I
see.
just have to say, as a VR user, the market just isn't good. Like, that you can't pretend that we're in a good place. It's terrible.
Oh, at the moment, nothing's good. Like you can't buy a decent GPU for the right price. The consoles are dead, but you can't find any at least. Yeah, good luck finding anything for a good price. Tech wise, I may add. So, but yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see if PlayStation do go the VR route. I don't see why they wouldn't. Like they had a decent handheld system in my opinion. They haven't gone that route anymore just because they know Nintendo have won it and they genuinely won't be able to beat them no matter what. Unless they bring out a handheld that has VR, maybe. Oh god.
Well,
Just strap a Switch to your face.
I will still agree that I think the best, in theory, VR headset on the market right now is the Oculus Quest 2.
Yeah, definitely.
I think inside-out tracking onboard hardware is the future of VR, but I would not recommend purchasing an Oculus Quest 2 because, one, it's an Oculus, two, it doesn't have enough storage space, which is just kind of a problem with the hardware limitations right now anyway, and three, it's an Oculus. Like, it's just... I wish the Facebook situation wasn't happening. Quite frankly, I wish Oculus had never been bought by Facebook. Because if that was the case, and an Oculus Quest had come out today, or whatever it came out a couple months ago, and we were having this discussion in this podcast, I would be able to wholeheartedly recommend that device. But I just can't. I cannot justify it with Facebook.
One thing I wanted to ask, because I still think the best way, and I will never, like personally, I would never buy a headset that has inside-out tracking, just because, what if you put your hands behind your back? Because doesn't it use the cameras on board to track where the hands are?
Yeah. So normally with inside-out tracking, they embed sensors into the controllers as well to assist
roughly
with
guesses
loss
where
of
it is.
visual, so that you still get something. But yeah, basically, if you lose LOS, that hand tracking is the main concern I have with inside-out tracking, and why purely because I have a top-spec VR headset that I would not recommend people purchase because it's expensive and not where you should enter VR. Well, I could not get used to using that. I am way too used to being able to pick things up from inside my fucking crotch, right? The tracking accuracy of base stations when you have a good base station setup is unbeatable. And it's unbeatable whether they're Oculus base stations from the original shit or Steam VR ones 1 or 2. It is just the superior way of tracking objects in a 3D space right now. And it's way more awkward, it's less portable, and it's more expensive.
One thing I would like to say though with the inside out tracking or like Oculus Quest is just so what was I going to say? I was going to say something now and I genuinely can't remember. That's why I just went slow because I was trying to think about what I was going to say. Christ, I can't remember now. Are the controllers okay for the Quest 2? Yeah. I haven't seen much about it.
Oculus controllers are good.
Okay. Yeah, actually, no, I don't know if I can't remember which one it is.
The whole line, really. Although they're good in a theoretical perspective, in reality, touching the controller causes Mark Zuckerberg to wake up in a spasm and decide to rape your family.
Fair.
So yeah, don't purchase one.
One thing I can't remember which Oculus. I think it was the Rift S. It uses batteries, and that pisses me off because it's like one that apparently the hatch comes off, and two, why?
I will admit, most wireless devices do use batteries.
It uses
that I am quite used to.
It uses like double A's.
That's kind of horrible, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Rift S. I don't know about the Quest though. I assume they fixed that, or at least done something different. But
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. If they're still using double A's, then come on. Are they trying to go the consumer route?
Battery?
Cheaper, I guess. That's how they're able to put it. Not obviously cheap, but at the cheaper end of the VR.
Probably, I guess, yeah.
And I heard that they said, they changed it to a clip-on instead of a magnetic system for the battery cover.
Good.
Never ever had a problem with the magnetic one.
Oh, you
I
have the Rift
genuinely
S,
don't
don't
know
you?
what you were doing. I have the original Rift.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm in theory. I've not used the Rift S, but in theory, mine should be
The
worse.
same. Oh, worse.
Well, yeah, the same or worse.
Yeah, I've heard. I haven't done
no
anything.
clue how you do anything
Yeah.
with that accidentally.
That's just what I've heard. Actually,
that's
that was
what
what I
I've
was going to say. So with the the Quest 2, genuinely, I think if you're going to do in general, if you're going to do inside out tracking, I think one of the most important things is just making sure the games, like this may seem like really outlandish and stupid, but making sure the games always are coded or made in a way that you're never ever going to have to put your hands out of line of sight. Because then that's where it ruins your issue. That's where all the issues come.
I would say, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say I've not had, and yes, there are moments in VR. Obviously, I'll put my hands behind my back, or I'll be doing something. But there aren't many games where I'm going to be doing that for a prolonged time or in such a way. Not that I wouldn't rather have I'd rather have base stations any day. But I've never had it be or been reaching behind me enough for it to be an issue.
It's not something you do regularly, no. But it's definitely something I have done numerous times in VR, especially once you get your so-called VR legs, once you get used to and comfortable to the environment and your play space. In a game like Hot Dogs, Horseshoe, and Hand Grenades, right? If I'm next to a table and I'm used to the movement and the tracking's accurate, I don't need to look at the table to pick something up, right? And when I'm specifically referencing Hot Dogs, Horseshoe, and Hand Grenades, I would like to just say it's fucking atrocious to control.
Okay. I'm glad it's not just me.
No, oh god. But yeah. Anyway, it's not. I don't know. Internet tracking is not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad, but it definitely comes in a contradiction to base station. And the problem is that you can develop games uniquely for both. Yeah. Something that's on a base station, you have a lot more flexibility about making someone get into awkward positions and reach into awkward places, right? Yeah. I'm not personally aware exactly how well in a well-lit room an inside-out headset would do if you ducked and crawled under your desk where it was dark, right? I don't know. I've not used one or seen them test in that scenario enough to know. I'm sure it would probably manage it okay, but in comparison to how I know my base stations would track that, I would definitely be way more faithful in the base stations, right? And then you could design a game with inside-out tracking that involves physical movement a considerable amount more, right? When I'm playing VR, I don't move around my play space that much. Most of my movement is controller, and then I use my play space to slightly adjust. I use it for turning a little bit. I use it to just like step under something, and then I step back to the center and continue moving. That's just kind of how I play. Some people have a really active movement. It's kind of a play style you just personally pick up depending on how you get used to VR.
I guess, and
causes
how
you to
much
feel
space
sick in
you
that.
have as well.
And how much space, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could design if you had a full. It depends how good the internet tracking was, but if you had like the whole bottom floor of your house and the internet tracking was capable of tracking you through that house, there's no reason you couldn't develop an AR-like game, right? That used the cameras to position things around your house, and you'd actually like walk through. That would only be doable on internet tracking headsets with cameras. There are definitely things, and that kind of causes me a worry for the VR space because I still feel like VR is absolutely in its early stages, and it needs encouragement to develop it. I mean, the VR industry has basically stopped growing. The index has stopped growing in sales. We've kind of hit its peak at the high end. So there needs to be stimulation in the game development side of things, and there's definitely a clash in how you can develop a game between inside out and base station tracking that will, I think, become a problem.
Okay.
Especially with like party games on the Quest, because I think a big thing on the Quest is like having your friends over. You can repeatedly take turns. It's very easy. No setup required.
That's true.
You don't need to have a $1 grand PC in the room. You don't need to have base stations mounted on the wall. It's considerably easier, or on stands. But stands take up space, and you likely don't have spaces perfectly positioned in your living room specifically for base station stands, because that's a bit weird.
Fair. Anyway, I want to keep this to 2 hours, so we've got 10 minutes left. So I just wanted to calm it down a bit,
Sorry.
No, don't worry. Slowing it down a bit. So, yeah, but no, I remember on one of the first podcasts we ever did, and this was back on the old podcast, the cock podcasts, the good days. It's debatable. I was talking about how I really want to get into VR, and I still do, but it's not a priority at the moment because it is an expensive sort of thing to do, and
Absolutely, it's expensive.
not like I need to worry about my PC anymore. I definitely have a PC that can run it, but it's a medium tier PC, so it should be fine. But yeah, no, I would love to do more VR stuff, and it'd be interesting to see where this PlayStation actually goes. If they do VR, I genuinely think it could go well if they can price it well.
The pricing would be interesting to me, because looking at the images that we sent and on how true they are, especially the one that Phelan sent,
Yeah,
I would definitely be putting it closer to around £300.
Oh, I was gonna say, if it's 500, that's a decent price, because if you get the cheap console and the headset, that's still cheaper than a Vive. Than an Index.
So this was from even
How good it
earlier,
is.
and it looks more like a Wiimote.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that being a thing.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck is that?
That was a long time ago, relatively.
Like that's that oldish one. That looks like the Rift S, Rift S, isn't it?
What?
It looks like the Rift S controller.
Don't.
Right there. Is it the Rift
Oculus
S?
stuck with the fairly standard controller layout. I could be wrong, but
I mean, the Rift and
oh
the
yeah, no.
Index
Wait,
are
what
pretty
is
similar
it?
controllers.
What one was it? Fuck. Is it Index then?
I mean, with the finger tracking, yeah, but I guess you could possibly be leaning towards the Index, but it would still be a bit of a.
Oh, yeah, also that's a good thing actually. Finger tracking is a huge thing for VR.
Oh
But,
yeah.
Like to be clear, like the Vive ones are meh. They're just kind of shit in general. Some of the buttons are awkward to press and they're awkward to use in a lot of games. They're awkward to hold. They bump into things. The Oculus controllers, not that I've personally used them, but I've seen a lot of use of them, are pretty good, and the Index controllers are unfathomably perfect. I mean, the fact that you don't even have to grip them, I cannot describe a more immersive controller than the Index, having used a few. Like the ability to just let go of my hand, to wave at someone by physically waving, to press a button by just pointing my finger and reaching out and pressing it, to grab things by physically grabbing it and then feeling something in my hand. Right? It really. They take a bit of a learning curve to get used to, especially depending on your hand position and how awkward you are with like joints and pain and shit, because it's slightly awkward for me. But getting the ability to move by using the thumbstick without grabbing the controller, so that you just have your hand open, like completely normal, like you're just holding your hand casually at the side of your body and moving around like that. It really, they're great fucking controllers.
No, I
They're
bet they
also
are.
expensive as shit. So,
I don't know why I said I bet they are. I know they are because I've used them and almost broke them.
You did.
Told that story too many times. I'm not going to go back into it. But yeah, no. I think that's a good place to end it, to be honest. You know, today, honestly, I'm genuinely happy how this gone. And as I said in the intro, I'm constantly trying to.
We might have another one out in time for Christmas.
We might.
Gosh. It's gonna be close.
Yeah.
Got a month.
I'm trying to get this. I want to make it like better in both production, in interactivity, and in overall visuals and look.
I definitely got to say, I'm impressed with the visuals.
I appreciate it.
Surprised it on us, and it looks really nice.
Do like them, yeah.
Yeah, I always try and do that. I wish I got the trailer because I think that would have added a bit more, but that would be something I want to work on. It's something, I'm a perfectionist, and I have hundreds of videos that I just never released because I'm like, I can't do this because it's not my standard, even though I don't have a standard. Look at my COD video. But yeah, no, I've definitely enjoyed it. I miss streaming it because it's just more casual, I feel. And you know, when it's done, it's done. There's no, I was gonna say there's no post production. There's all the uploading and all I need to do, but that's it. So you know, it's just fun and casual and easy. So yeah, thank you everybody. Honestly, thank you both Alfie and Phelan. You can check the panels down below. You can check for their socials, and give them the support. Let's get Phelan to 200 subscribers again, because that's what he deserves. What are you on? 197?
Oh, I don't know. When did I last check? A few months ago. I can have a look though.
I can't spell licious. Oh my god.
Right, I can go to my channel quick than you can. In
No, you can't.
196.
Oh shit! Someone's unsubbed.
God damn it! You did this to me.
196. Right, we need to get you to 200.
Yeah, we do. Let me see if I can find out.
Actually,
what
how are
happened and
Panda's
when.
videos doing? He uploaded randomly out the blue the other day.
He uploaded a load, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, more than I
Panda
thought.
video.
Oh yeah, I forget that I'm not allowed to criticize Ubisoft with Panda around.
Oh, nah, I don't think Panda cares anymore. Right.
I don't think that. I'm pretty sure Panda is an adult enough to understand the difference between criticizing a company he may have worked with and how that doesn't actually have anything to do with it whatsoever.
That is very true. But no, yeah, thank you very much. When I finish this, I'm going to go off and play F1 2019 because I'm in the mood to race now for some reason. That clip, though, I will never forget that clip. It was fucking hysterical. Me hitting the barrier.
Yeah, fucking times you fucked someone over by
No,
crashing
it was
into them.
never my fault.
It was always your fault.
It wasn't. Right, race me and prove it. No,
Oh,
appreciate it.
you aren't gonna survive. We aren't gonna survive.
No, thank you very much, you two, for being here, making this wheel turn as always. We should be back next week, I hope.
We'll try.
We'll try, certainly. I've got work. Those two have stay at home. And
Thanks. All right, make us sound like complete losers.
Well,
Jesus.
actually, no, because
Well,
the
yeah,
lockdown.
yeah.
With, no, the
We need
new.
to advertise
Okay,
it.
actually, there was something I was gonna say, but I didn't want to bring it up.
Ooh.
It's about the new tier system and how where. Do I say I? Yeah, I don't really give two shits. The thing that really does annoy me about what happened in the government recently is.
And we're not getting political, by the way.
I'm just thinking about the intro of this.
Yeah.
Not getting political. His two
No.
comments about political people. And now we go on.
Look, it's the last thing on the whole stream for the last minute. I hate how they basically just made a huge advertisement for, hey, come down to where we are, because we're the only place in the whole of England.
That's exactly what Jowan said. That is, Jowan said they're all going to. I didn't even think of that.
Oh, because we're
Yeah.
going to be the only place that have pubs open that you don't need to buy food. You
There's
can just
no
go in.
way. No. I refuse
Well, I mean,
to
okay,
believe
right.
people are going to come
Right.
from London for pubs.
I
Yeah,
guarantee
I
you.
can
No.
totally believe people, especially people that are more well off, coming on vacation or to their second homes and stuff down here.
And
because
even then,
of the,
during the winter, I'd still be a bit skeptical.
the coronavirus statistics and such. But I mean, come on, maybe someone in Devon might travel to fucking like a nearby town to go to the
Nah,
pub or
the
something.
entire
They're not
UK
traveling
is.
from like upper UK. They're not coming from the Midlands.
Yeah, just for a pint, obviously.
Bloody hell.
God.
But it is what I genuinely was surprised that we're the only place in the whole UK that is tier 1.
Gone over 2 hours. God forbid.
Right, no, because of that, we're ending now. No.
Keep the tradition going.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, that's all
Oh,
I
no,
wanted
we
to
need
say.
DM each other first, Alfie.
All I
The
wanted to
podcast
say.
doesn't start with you taking your headset off because we're speaking to you and
Oh, I was
you
tempted
interrupting
to.
something that was a fluid topic that could have
Yeah,
gone on
I'm
for half
really
an hour more.
surprised you weren't like giggling or anything. You
Yeah.
Yeah,
stuck
you
to
held
it.
yourself together.
That's why I was like, oh, okay, he's got us muted and we can just keep going. But no,
No,
that
no.
was,
I was
well
good
done,
at
you're
that.
learning. We're going to need to up our game next time.
But no, yeah. On that note, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. As mentioned, it will be up on Spotify and YouTube as well as the other ones. And I can't remember that. That's why I have that list.
Well, if only you had a button you could press that would show that list.
I don't have it on this one. Fuck.
Right.
Shit. I've let everybody down.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
2 hours wasted. That's pretty
have a wonderful evening, you guys, and to everybody that joined us.
Yeah, thanks for everyone that
Thank
joined.
you.
Thanks, Corporal.
And
good. I see you lurk.
yeah. Right. See you all soon.
Astrid. I see you.
Ta-ra.
Bye.